this time, mark my words, a hex is coming, and your population will be wiped out. That's not how this works. There are communities that weren't on the railroad, that still aren't on the railroad, and still exist. They just might look a whole lot different than when they were on the wagon path. Likewise, it's the same thing here. So I can't sit up here and say, if you don't do this, your community's dead in the next 5 years. That's not going to happen. That's not true. But what I can talk to you about is decay and some of the signs of decay in a community. And I want to give you one example in particular that was near and dear to my heart. I moved back to the place where my family was from. We went back 100 years to, anybody familiar with the Nelson, BC area, Rossland, and the Kootenays? Really beautiful part of the world. Please, don't go there. We were trying to keep it hidden still. It's one of the few still like hidden jewels in the world. And I moved back there after university, and we had 17.5% unemployment. This was the big downturn in lumber. There was a big downturn in most commodities, and that whole region was based just solely on commodities. And I was the only guy, when I showed up with my ex-wife, and this might be one of the reasons why, we were the only people under the age of 45 when we came back to that area. That is an interesting sign. What happens is something really fast, and I shouldn't say we're the only people. We were the only people above university, college age, and below 45. I mean, there was almost nobody else. So one of the interesting things that happens is that when people begin to leave a region, your schools end up with less and less children because families are leaving the region because they can't get a job there for whatever reason. And you get to a certain point where the school says, you know what, we don't have enough kids to offer, and in our case, it was Chemistry 12. In the same year, 3 high schools separated by 250 kilometers in the mountains, so try busing kids in the mountains between these schools, got down to 6 children in each of the 3 high schools that wanted to take Chem 12. All 3 schools simultaneously stopped offering Chem 12. And so now no child in the region could go on to university to study in the sciences. That was really bad. Because now, am I going to move my family to this region? I'm a knowledge worker. I'm the kind of guy that can go almost anywhere. Am I going to go to that place? I'm the entrepreneur. I'm the engineer who is going to work at Tech Cominco. I'm the doctor who could work at the hospital. I am the type of person who's making, 6-figure-year salary, and supporting in communities and all these other kind of great things that I bring to your community. Am I going to move there with my kids? Absolutely, fundamentally not. I am not coming to your community. And immediately you recognize that and you go, oh my God, this place is about to become a graveyard. Because then what happens is the people that are there, that are engineers and are doctors and that kind of thing, what are they doing? They're leaving. And so we put together an emergency group, and this was after my study. And we said, here's a problem set that we can fix, and here's how we can fix it. We're going to connect these 3 schools with fiber optic cable. We're going to put high-end video conferencing equipment in all 3 schools. And then that damn chem teacher is going to drive. On Mondays, they're going to be in school number 1. On Wednesdays, they're in school number 2. And on Fridays, they're in school number 3. And they'll do the lab on that one day in each of those schools. And they'll conduct a class by video conference to the other ones. And we got 18 kids in chemistry, and we can keep Chem 12. And we did. That is, at the root of it, how we used the tool to fix the problem that we needed to fix in that community and save something that was absolutely essential to supporting the community. But it's also a bunch of those warning signs, and I've talked about a bunch that are all kind of interlinked. Because that's the issue. Our service delivery sector delivers services to us in silos. but our communities react to those services as an integrated, holistic system. And that sucks. To put that in the vernacular, what ends up happening is that the education system did not have the wherewithal to consider how they could do this or any of that kind of stuff. But also in their planning cycle, they don't think about the impact that that would have on the whole rest of the community. They act in their silo. We've got nobody thinking about the community as a whole and able to act as the community as a whole. And so what's really interesting is the governance structure for Come On became a proxy for community leaders to get back together and think about how each of our behavior affected one another. How decisions in the school affected the medical facility, because doctors were going to leave. How decisions at the school affected the local chambers of commerce. How they affected the local municipality. How they affected the service. All these things. And we began to sit around the room and say, well, wow, if that happens, what about this? What about health services? Oh yeah, quality of life in these areas is really beginning to drip. So, what we end up with, some warning shots, kids leaving and not coming back. So there's a picture I just painted for you. Kids were going and they weren't coming back. And we had a deterioration of relative quality of life. It was better to live somewhere else than in beautiful, stunningly beautiful Nelson, BC, which isn't so beautiful that you should go and live there. Because then my property taxes will go up. All of these things that people were leaving and going to Calgary. How bad can it be? I love Ontario because you can come here and you can mock the living heck out of the Albertans. And we both get to laugh. Yeah, that's cool. So basically, the notion is that now our education, our access to health care, we were driving huge distances for specialists, economic opportunity, and why do these guys leave and don't come back? Well, people say, well, it's because of jobs. Guys, I got to tell you, when a young person thinks about quality of life, they aren't thinking about their job for the most part. Okay? They're thinking about entertainment. They're thinking about fun things to do. What's cool? Where can I get an experience? Furthermore, we actually want them to go for a while. A, we're sick of them by some point of time. And B, equally importantly, they got to learn and go out and learn things and bring them back. But we want them to be able to come back, and we want them to want to come back. And that's where the entertainment side, the access to services, be able to access high speed, be able to video conference with the rest of the world, to be able to do all these kind of things is hugely important. How am I doing for time, Jim? Have I got time for one more story? Am I okay? Okay. You're lying. Okay. So I'll make it a fast story. I want to finish the presentation with a story. I love telling stories, and there's some great stories out there. And this is a story about a rural farmer who brought fiber to every home and business in his village. And I call it Stone Soup Networks. Anybody familiar with the parable of Stone Soup? Okay. Okay, if not, I'll fill you in later. Okay, so this is a place called Hudiksvall. This is the biggest building in Hudiksvall. And again, this is one of these cities in Stockholm, or in Sweden. I'll give you a little bit more detail on it. And this is the tallest building in Hudiksvall. This is a very, very small place in absolutely the middle of nowhere. So the other place I was talking about is over here, Västerås. This place is up here. Honestly, there is nothing there. Absolutely nothing. It's beautiful, but it is just wildly empty. Some quick facts. The city, the municipality, is 2,500 square kilometers. The population is 37,000 people. And the density, therefore, is about 15 people per square kilometer. So not that dissimilar. When I was going through my examples, that might sound a little familiar, right? Maybe even a little on the small side. This is a gentleman by the name of Bengt Oka. This is Bengt Oka's tractor. And it's a main character in this story. This is a shot of Huddock's Val. Again, looks kind of similar. Hey, I thought, for example, this was going to work pretty well because it's you could be driving somewhere in Frontenac or anywhere in eastern Ontario. So I went to this place and because I'd heard this amazing story, and so I traveled around with Bengtoka, and I joined up with his crew as we traveled these roads, and somebody had come along and they donated some conduit, and we were coming along and we were connecting fiber to each and every of these houses. So this is my day with these guys. So we came along to the spool of conduit, which is a nice empty plastic tube. And then us and the volunteers, this is Bengtoka here, just kind of supervising. We've come along. They've used the tractor to plow a trench on this farmer's field. They've got the conduit coming here, and we're going to go down this driveway now. Well, this house here has used their tractor to plow up and put conduit. They've drilled a hole in their house, and they've pulled the conduit up to this manhole that we kind of left the wooden thing there for them to get it to. So they pulled it up and brought their conduit to there, and we're now interconnecting the conduit we've been laying with their conduit that's here, right here. And then here is a church, a very tiny little church, and here is the electronic equipment. They've donated space in the church for us to put the electronic equipment. And I turned to Bengtoka and I said, this is really cool. Obviously this is free. It doesn't cost you anything. But was there any other reasons for it? He says, well, yes, the people here, they have many guns. They like to shoot the things. And so we used to have the cabinet on the side of the road, and then what we learn is that there's a reason there is no things beside the road, because the people, they get in the truck and they drive and they say, oh, something on the side of the road, and our network kept going down. And so now, so now what we do is we put it here because it's very secure, and I'm like, but Bengtoka, this is just a door, there's, hardly even a lock on the thing. This is, anybody could get in here. He goes, but we have the best security in the whole universe. So there you go. It's God Pop. This was the house. So this is the house that we're going to connect fiber to just after the afternoon. So we've done a bunch of conduit interconnecting, and this is the house that we had an appointment for. These guys are connecting 8 homes a day. This is the type of person that is getting a fiber optic connection to their home. Okay, we are not talking about a really high-end place. Okay, so this dude is the dude that is getting fiber to the home. This is his cell phone. He has been calling us every 30 minutes since 7 a.m. trying to know when we're going to be there. And every time Bengtoka is like, yes, Thomas. Yes, Thomas. Yes. No, we are still coming. Yes. No, it will be at 2 o'clock. Yes, Thomas. Yes. Half hour later. Hello, Thomas. Yes. Yes, we are coming with the fiber today. Yes, like I said, 2:30. Yeah, 2 o'clock. Yeah. Thomas, if you call one more time, you will not be getting fiber. So that's the dude who's getting fiber. This is us in his home. So he has drilled a hole with a drill into the external wall, pulled this conduit that we gave him a few months in advance, pulled that and pulled it out